On today's episode of the Bolt Crew podcast, the Los Angeles Chargers and the National Football League say goodbye to some familiar faces. The Los Angeles Rams pull off a trade that could impact the Chargers, and we break down even more potential Chargers first-round targets. It all starts right now on the Bolt Crew podcast.
Hey, yeah, hey, it's the Bolt Crew, and we always winning. Hey, go against us, I don't recommend it. Hey, it's the Bolt Crew, best up in the business. It's the Bolt Crew, repping for the city. Macking on and off the field like Khalil. They hate on us cause we keep it too real. I'm talking smack like Phil Rivers in the field. Oh, you mad again cause we kept it real? Why you mad? Hey, I'm talking smack, I feel like Uncle Dave. Hey, I bring the pain, I feel like Derwin James. I could run and gun, I feel like Herbo down the lane. I feel like LT the way I'm stiff arming these lanes. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah. Ay, we just wanna win, we just wanna win, ay. Putting on for the city, putting on for the city. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Bolt Crew podcast. It's an early morning show. Appreciate everybody joining us on a Thursday. And one thing I've already learned today that Mario is assistant GM to the Buffalo Bills, as Mario complains all the time. Why don't you go ahead and get some wide receivers? Well, if you're just tuning in right now, breaking news, as the Buffalo Bills did acquire a wide receiver. DJ Moore goes from the Bears to the Bills, and all of a sudden Josh Allen has another target. And I tell you, the Bills are one of those teams, guys, I think we're going to pay attention to during this offseason because, as I say all the time, we look at the odds because Vegas isn't in the business of losing money, and everybody has the two top teams in the AFC going into next season as the Bills and the Chargers. So you kind of want to pay attention to what the Bills are doing on their roster, pay attention to what the Chargers, of course, are doing on the roster, and that's what we're here for, to talk about the Chargers roster and how things are going to progress. Somebody asked me yesterday, Josh, how much faith do you have in Joe Ortiz? My answer was basically zero when it comes to free agency because he's never shown us anything for me to sit there and say, man, I'll hang my hat on this because this is the move that stands out. And to me, again, we've spoken a little bit about this, but Joe Ortiz has a ton to prove this offseason. And last year, I thought he wasted it. I think when the team needed him most, that was Joe Ortiz. You could have pointed the finger to why things failed. And draft-wise, we're all fans of what he's done in that draft. But free agency, this is where he needs to shine this year to prove his weight.
I agree. I feel the same way about Joe Ortiz right now as I did about Greg Roman after their first year. It's not good enough. And if you don't do good enough in your second year, you have to leave. It doesn't matter that he does well in the draft. Free agency is part of the job too. The Chargers need to deliver during this free agency period to make themselves true Super Bowl contenders. We'd like to say in this show the Chargers are Super Bowl contenders, but they're really not until they prove they have the players in place to put themselves in that position. Right now, the Chargers have a number of holes on this team. The Chargers can fix those holes through free agency in the draft, but it's yet to be seen that Joe Ortiz can actually make the right decisions in free agency.
Yeah, I think his best move probably outside of the draft was trading for Double O. But on the contrary to that, if they don't re-sign him, how good of a move was it really? Because he's not in a Chargers uniform for the rest of his career or just next couple of years. He was just in it for half a season. Keenan Allen move, you can credit him for, but that wouldn't have happened unless Mike Williams retires. So it's a give and a take. Obviously, draft, we feel great on it, but this is the offseason where he has to make some moves. This is the offseason where he has to, be better than what he has been before. And look at the team across town. Look at what that GM just freaking did, man. So a lot to learn and a lot to get done this offseason.
The compliments that I know you kind of just try to give them right there, no offense, but that's nothing to sit there and hang your hat on, right? When you get Keenan Allen, I mean, you basically said, I'm going to one team. Nobody showed interest in Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen's only chance was coming back to the Chargers. It's like, who's going to eat the last piece of shrimp? And that was Keenan Allen was. He was the only thing left on the plate, and the trade isn't even what I'm talking about when he gets 00 from Baltimore. We liked having him here and hope he stays a Charger. But, dude, man, when this thing, the clock goes off and it's time to sit there and start selling this franchise, what is your market to say you make a phone call to somebody and go, man, we really would love to have you with the Los Angeles Chargers? What are you selling? What are you selling and why it's so great to come here?
There's a lot to sell at the Chargers. The weather's fantastic. They just got a brand new facility. You have a top quarterback in the NFL. You have a coach you'd like to believe is a top 10 quarterback, regardless of what the NFLPA grades say. The Chargers have a lot of things going in their direction. They're also one of the best teams in the NFL. There's more things going in the Chargers' direction than going against them. Just to go back to what Mario said, it blows my mind how you have one GM in Joe Ortiz and the other one in Les Snead in the same city who couldn't be more opposite in the way that they attack the offseason, right? The Rams will trade away all their picks for good players that are established in the NFL. Joe Ortiz does not have that mindset, right? He tries to covet all of his picks and take the best young players he can within the draft. It's hard to make an argument against Les Snead, Mario, at this point where he's proven he's a top GM in the NFL. Look what they just traded yesterday for Trent McDuffie, a 25-year-old who's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. The Chiefs got the Rams pick at number 29. Also, remember, the Rams have the Falcons' first-round pick at number 13, so they still have their first-round pick. They also get a fifth-round pick, a sixth-round pick, and a 2027 third-round pick. And then the Rams get Trent McDuffie, who's one of the best corners in the NFL.
Top two cornerbacks in the top two cornerbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, so it's hard to argue against Les Snead at this point, Mario, that his way doesn't work. I wish Joe Ortiz was a little bit more like Les Snead in terms of being aggressive, trading away your picks. And talking about trading away picks, he's missed Joe Ortiz, right? We got Austin Deculus and Trevor Penning for picks we trade away, which did not work at all.
Rams since 2017 have traded every first-round pick they've had besides 2024, and that year they drafted Jared Verse. So not only is he a good, free agency GM, but like Snead also hits it in the draft. Like Puka Nacua he found, Verse he found. Like he is a very well-rounded GM in that factor. And look, their weakness was the passing game, the defending the passer, 22nd in that last year. That's obviously going to change a lot this upcoming season. What Joe has to do now is, look, the guard market's not amazing. I get it. The center market is top heavy, but you got to be aggressive in those areas. And a new guy, new girl just came into town also wanting to get a center with Drew Dahlman retiring in Chicago. So it's going to be a little bit more competitive. He's going to have to get aggressive because, like the Rams, the Chargers are looking at a Super Bowl window and they think they have all the pieces. They just got to plug and play a little bit. So he's got to make sure he makes the right moves.
Yeah. So, going back to my question to you guys was, what are you selling the Chargers on? Like what's out here to say, why would I want to come here? Josh, you hit it on the head. I mean, basically that's everything I would say. I think it's an easy sell to any free agent. You're talking about a huge media market. You're talking about where the weather's good. You're talking about no humidity during training camp. You're talking about a brand new facility, and you're talking about a franchise quarterback with a coach that is establishing a culture. Plus, assistant coaches are top of the line. I mean, there's very little to complain about outside of you don't have the history of winning. And I think there are a lot of guys that say, I want to be part of the beginning. Joe Ortiz, as far as the way he goes about it, and he's obviously learned a lot from his time with the Ravens. I can't say the Ravens are the best way to go about it. I think a lot of times you're looking for that dynasty, and you want to be relevant all the time, the window of opportunity. You don't want to be that team that goes up and then collapses. The Rams are in a different time frame where they have a quarterback that maybe has 1 year left in his career, meaning he wants to play 1 year left. Justin Herbert, we expect him to be playing for at least another 10 years. You got to get that one. You got to get that one trophy. You got to get that Lombardi trophy in here. And then you want to sit there and be as quality as you can be for as long as Justin Herbert is still playing quarterback for the Chargers. Because who knows the next time you're going to find another franchise quarterback. So what the Ravens have done, and they get complimented all the time. I'm sorry, the Ravens are a B+ organization. There's a difference from being B+ and being A. The Eagles are A. The Kansas City has been A. The Patriots have been A. The Rams are an A organization, meaning they're relevant all the time and aren't afraid to make moves. Joe Ortiz with putting 1 foot in the water to see if everything is okay. It doesn't work when it comes to winning championships yet. You got to get the Charger fans and this organization that won to sit there and say, not only are we building, but we're here to stay. And until you can do that, hell, man, you got to win a goddamn playoff game. You got to take the steps, but winning playoff games, winning one playoff game with this roster and this coaching staff, it isn't even enough this year. Like the goals should be extremely high, and I'm talking Super Bowl high. People go, "Oh, you're nuts! You guys struggle in the playoffs." Those days have to be over. You got to go into free agencies, and we have one goal, and that's to win the Super Bowl, and that's it, because that's what your neighbor is doing that you're sharing that stadium with.
Hey, Kev Adrian. Okay, this is what he says. He says, uh, "True, Josh, but they still hit on trades nonetheless. The Rams have made all these trades the last 7 to 8 years. The McVay Snead have been there. That's resulted in one Super Bowl win. Kev, I would do anything for one Super Bowl win. For anybody on this show, would you do anything for one Super Bowl win? Mario, do you want one Super Bowl win for the Chargers?
Yeah,
I'll name my first kid Mario for one Super Bowl win.
Yeah, I'd give my left nut.
Yeah, I'll give my right
Why
one.
is it always the left? Everybody always picks the left.
Non-dominant side.
Yeah,
Easy. I just want one Super Bowl win. Look what the Rams did. People want to say, oh, the Lions won that trade. How could you make the argument that the Lions won the trade with the Rams when the Rams won the Super Bowl? That is the point for all of us. We just want to win the Super Bowl. The Chargers have never been close to winning a Super Bowl. And don't tell me their chance with the 49ers was close. That game was over after the national anthem. So the Chargers need to put themselves in position to win. I don't care if it takes, you have to trade away picks. Just do what it takes to win. The Chargers have always been the team that has not been aggressive. I can't remember a time when the Chargers were the team that was the aggressor in free agency, trading for top players in the league, going after the top guys, even taking chances on guys that might have a criminal background. Dude, I would have taken Tyrann Mathieu because he smokes weed. I think it would have worked out pretty well, Mario.
Yeah, I mean, I think you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have been fine with that. I would have sparked up with him, like, hey, I'll help you out. Give you some more puffs. We'll ease you off this thing. But look, and we talk Super Bowl win, and we talk, we want it really badly. We also just want a playoff win. Our QB that's supposed to be a top 5 QB still doesn't have that. And why hasn't he had that the past couple years he's been in there? Okay, because we sold our O-line short. Okay, because we sold our defense short. We kind of cut costs and thought we have a team that can still compete. And then we found out when we faced the big dogs, oh, yeah, we don't have that. So at some point, you kind of got to pay the bill and make the necessary moves in order to be successful. And that's what they have to do right now. And I think they did do that in a certain stint, Dave, by cutting the losers out of the locker room, by cutting Becton, saying, see ya, buddy, you don't deserve to be here, by letting, Disley go. Like letting those guys where you go, hey, you're just not bringing anything to the table. So it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, here's the deal. Disley first year stepped in and played better than we expected. Second year disappeared. Whether that's on him, whether that's on the Chargers. I mean, Disley gave us more in his first year with the Chargers than we expected, but not enough to win championships. Okay, actually he fell apart in the playoff game against the Texans, but during the season he was fine. In the first time with us in 2024, Becton became such a huge cancer. Not only did he stink, Becton became just a cancer all the way around to this organization. One of the worst signings I think the Chargers could have made. It frees up some money. I think it adds $9 million to our salary cap, helps us out. Couldn't wait to see him go. The move's got to be, quick, got to be smart, and you got to bring guys in like, hey, this is my job depends on it. If you're Joe Ortiz, and I don't know what he feels as far as job security goes, but man, you got to do something. You're wasting Justin Herbert's career, and seems like I've said that line a million times since we started this show.
It does. I want to talk about Mekhi Becton. One of the best things that's ever happened to me as a Charger fan is that the Chargers cut his ass yesterday. I'm going to put up on the screen his Instagram story. Talk about a guy that just cannot read the room, right? Everybody in Chargers, fan base hates this guy. This is his Instagram story yesterday, making a joke after being cut, the peace out sign right there. I don't get it, Mario. Like, how could you not understand that you underdelivered for a team that expected so much out of you? I'm not saying the Chargers' 2025 failures fall right on Mekhi Becton, but I think he was a huge reason why the Chargers were not as good as they should have been. They were relying on him to be the right guard, somebody that they could depend on, and he was not dependable. He's the opposite of dependable. He'd either take himself out of the game or he just wasn't good when he was in the game. I think he's in my bottom 5 of least favorite Chargers of all time.
I can't stand him. He came from the Eagles, and you're supposed to bring the Super Bowl culture with you, bring the cream of the crop, and puts on the uniform, and you go, wow, you just kind of suck. Like, your effort's really not really there. You don't really care to be there. You take a step and something's hurt. You jam something, like, oh, I got to go to the sideline. It was an underwhelming time. Cancer in the locker room. I don't have anything good to say about him. I really, really don't. It's, at least with Bradley Bozeman and some other guys where you go, yeah, the performance wasn't great on the field, but, like you said, there's still great people outside it. I can say, Becton, you're a prick on the field and you're a prick off the field. So you're 0 for 2.
Yeah, I can't imagine that too many people in that building are going to be sad to see him go. Want to point out that the trade we touched on for a second yesterday was the Rams' big deal getting McDuffie, as we just said. They get a top cornerback in this league. The Rams have done this in the past, by the way. They got Aqib Talib. They got Jalen Ramsey. They were looking to draft a corner. They ended up getting an all-pro corner. Forget about the Rams. What I want to know is, what does it say about the Chiefs? Okay. And we always talk about the Chiefs in this division and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and how well they've played for 10 years. And the Chiefs are always a team that you always have to be worried about. Is this a sign that the Chiefs are in rebuilding mode? And McDuffie has 1 year left on this deal before he gets crazy money. The Chiefs didn't want to pay that money. And they said, we'll rather take the picks than sit there and play the short game. Is this a sign to the rest of the AFC West that the Chiefs are not going to be contenders competing, instead looking just to stay relevant on the upper echelon, more of like that B-plus organization I just told you about?
I think it's a win-win move for both teams. I really think the Rams got what they wanted in McDuffie, right? He's a top corner in the NFL. The Chiefs are in rebuilding mode. And I got in an argument yesterday off the Bolt Crew Twitter. I mean, if you guys want to look at it, I was proud of my responses. But for any Chiefs fan that thinks this is not a rebuilding move, is out of their freaking mind. They're in salary cap hell. They needed the draft capital. They needed to clear up money, and they did that by getting rid of McDuffie. I think it was a smart move by the Chiefs. I do not think they're going to be in contention with the Chargers and Broncos next season, also because of Patrick Mahomes' injury. Who knows what Patrick Mahomes is going to be? The team around Patrick Mahomes isn't great. They got rid of Jawan Taylor in his false starts as well. The team is looking to move in the right direction for the future. It's a genius move by the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs, but I think they made the right decision.
It feels like they're prepared for that second window with Mahomes, right? Like you look at the Patriots dynasty. They had the first window where Brady was kind of becoming himself. And they had the second window with Moss, and then the third window. Feels like they're taking that step. That being said, I don't get this one. I get letting Jones go. If there was even a market, I would get letting Kelsey go. But McDuffie, who's 25, and yes, you got to pay him. Does he not match your timeline? Like, you're not, you're the Chiefs. You have Mahomes. You have Reed. You're not rebuilding for the next 2 years. It's probably maybe a down year next year, depending on his Mahomes' health. And then you're back in the dance. That's the part I don't get. Yeah, you can stack up these picks. You still have to hit on the picks. Have you done that recently? Give or take. But, like, what are you preparing for? Like, if I'm Mahomes, I'm getting kind of pissed off. Like, McDuffie was supposed to be part of this second run that we're going to make. What? Well, like, what if Worthy's in 2 years? You going to trade him then? Like,
couldn't afford
that's
him.
The part I don't get it.
McDuffie's going to sign a $30 million contract with the Rams, expectedly. I don't think the Chiefs could afford him. I think that's, like, literally the only reason why they got rid of him is because they don't have the money.
But, like, make it make sense is my point. Like, then Chris Jones, you're getting up there. This is a talented front class, right? Like, get that's where you go get it.
See, that's why I think you start making the argument on how successful teams are as far as organizations being run. So every organization, when you look at it, there are 53 guys on the roster getting paid. You have 48 that are dressing. Out of all those guys, really only 6 players get paid in the NFL, like get real money that affect your salary cap, 6 of them. Well, we know Mahomes is getting paid. Who else is getting paid, right? Kelsey's going to be gone. They're looking to dump Chris Jones. Who's getting paid that you can't keep the all-pro cornerback is interesting, unless you're just going, we're in complete rebuilding mode. Now, I understand they're in salary cap hell, but you can make it work with the top cornerback in the league or top 1 or 2, whatever you want to put him at. He was all-pro last year, and he said mid-20s, and I don't know if Mahomes has any say-so on the defense at all, but if I'm Andy Reid and I'm like, dude, I'm old, man. Like, I'm chasing championships. Is this what I signed up for? I got a quarterback who's coming off a major surgery. And as a Charger fan, I love every second of it. This is perfect. This is exactly what I saw yesterday and said, whether they're rebuilding or not, the Chiefs got weaker yesterday. And I'm all here for it. So I'm going to ask you, if you had to predict right now your AFC West standings for 2026, where do you have the Chiefs? I have them third.
Yeah, I don't know how you couldn't put the Chiefs third at this point. They're in rebuilding mode. They didn't budget correctly. Like, they got to pay Trey Smith. They got to pay Creed Humphrey, Nick Bolton, Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, that idiot Christian Fulton, former Charger, Drew Tranquil, former Charger, third. I don't know how anybody could argue the Chiefs would be higher than third next season. Mahomes' injury, and they could not budget their team correctly. They did the opposite of the Chargers. The Chargers have budgeted in a great way. They have money to spend. The Chiefs put their chips in the middle of the table to win the Super Bowl. It worked out for them. Now I agree with Mario. They're in the second window of Patrick Mahomes' career of rebuilding the team.
Yeah. When does that window start? I'm kind of interested to see.
After next season.
Has to be, right? It's certainly not going to be in 2026 because of just look at the beast are in the AFC. Like you mentioned, like where are they going to be in our division? They're probably going to be third. And then if you just go outside it, Buffalo got better today with getting DJ Moore. Finally a weapon. You said at the top. Pats are probably going to be pretty aggressive this offseason. So they're going to be back. They're going to be pretty lethal. Ravens are probably going to improve with Jesse Minter. Like there's too many beasts that you got to worry about here. When does that window kind of start for them? You know, we shall see. What I'm worried about, though, with the Chargers is just can we still get like the Govern and Linderbaum? How close are we really? Like, I'm waiting for that notification for either of those guys. You're just going, shit, or let's go. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those two.
Hey, what happened to Drew Dahlman?
Yeah.
What happened? Like, tell us what happened, because it doesn't make any sense. One of the best centers in the league has the contract. Like, what happened with the Bears? Why did he retire? Is it mental, physical?
I think it's just physical. I think he was tired. I mean, he had a full healthy season. He didn't miss a game in a Chicago uniform. He obviously played his ass off. I think there was maybe, I'm guessing, but the feeling I'm getting from it and from the people that are at work is this was a year they really thought they could do it. They thought like everything was kind of going their way. And if you look at their season too, like all the comebacks that they had, the late game situations where like luck was just on their side, it's hard to replicate that. And, you know, he just was sore. He was tired. I think his body not giving up on him, but he kind of knew like I'm at a good spot now at 27 where obviously like I have a crap ton of money. I can be fine. My family's fine. Like I'm a step away from the game. The Bears obviously cleared up a lot of cap space today with not paying Dahlman and not paying Moore. That makes them a heavy contender now to spend a crap ton of money. And that's what worries me for. They can help the Chargers and get Max Crosby.
That's what
they can hurt the Chargers.
Trade right now. I'm getting for Max Crosby.
Yeah. So like they can like hurt us and save us at the same time. Or not save us, but like hurt us and help us. You know?
If you're the Bears, who would you rather have, Tyler Linderbaum or Max Crosby?
I would probably rather have Linderbaum.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because look at what the front just looked like with Caleb Williams. And then I have to pay an older Max Crosby. That, by the way, like Max Crosby never missed a game with the Raiders. At some point, the injuries are going to pop up again. How well is he going to age? And I know I'm, I've said this 1,000 times. The draft's got freaking Jesus and God and Moses as edge rushers. Like, just go grab one, you know? Caleb's young. So that's my opinion.
No, you never know. I mean, until you actually see it in the NFL, you never know, right? I mean, it's the draft. I mean, who would have thought Chase Young would be a bust, right? You're looking at Chase Young going, look at this guy, you know? And you go, and there are always guys that you go, this guy's can't miss. I mean, we've had our can't miss. My can't miss a couple weeks ago was Downs, and all of a sudden he has a jacked up knee, you know, that is aging quick. And so you wonder, is that a true story? Who knows? My point is this: Crosby at 28, man, he has a high motor. I think it's going to be a big deal for somebody. The deal is another guy I want to see out of the AFC West, another guy I want to see out of the AFC. And the teams you're hearing you're hearing Rams, you're hearing Cowboys, you're hearing Bears. I have no idea the Cowboys can afford them. I have no idea. I mean, the Cowboys are paying everybody, and now they're sitting there and they're giving Pickens close to $30 million. Plus, you're paying CeeDee Lamb, and you're playing Prescott, you're playing Williams, you're paying so many guys. I don't know how the Cowboys in the running for it. I don't care. The Bears, to me, would be amazing. And if Detroit loses the chance to get Crosby to the Bears, when here's a guy that's a Michigan guy that probably grew up a Lions fan, I'm assuming, to end up going to the Bears in that division would be insane. But get him out of the AFC West, and it looks like he'll be out of the AFC West within 5 days.
Yeah, all of a sudden, all eyes are on the Chicago Bears as Charger fans because they, like Mario said, they could help us, they could hurt us. It seems like they're going for the same players that we are in a lot of respects too. So I would love for them to sign Khalil Mack. If we don't have him, get him out of the conference. I would hate for Khalil Mack to hurt us later in the season. If Tyler Linderbaum goes there, and be extremely upset. If Max Crosby goes there, I'd be extremely happy. I don't want Max Crosby in the AFC either. Kyler Murray is getting cut. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. You listed here some teams, Mario, that you think would make sense. You have the Jets, the Vikings, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Falcons, the Colts, and the Steelers.
Whoa, did you say the Browns?
Yeah.
The Browns? What are we doing?
What do you mean with it? I mean, they still
that
need
should
it.
That should be on the T-shirt. Cleveland Browns football. What are we doing? That's crazy. Deshaun Watson's coming back this year.
That's fine. They still need it.
Oh my God! They already got 80 quarterbacks on their staff. You're gonna bring in another cancer?
Which one's good?
Dude, none of them are good. Why would you bring in Kyler Murray? Like when you said Jets, I was like 100%. If this guy has Jets written all over him, and then I'm like, wait, he has Dolphins written all over him too. I mean, Kyler Murray has been such a bust that the Cardinal fans, and remember, it's the goddamn Cardinals, not an organization you look up to. They're like, we got to play Jacoby Brissett more. I mean, that's how crazy Kyler Murray has been. You look at Cliff Kingsbury. Everybody loves Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury couldn't get it to work with Kyler Murray. There's no chance Kyler Murray's having success anywhere.
Okay, he can have success one place.
Circus?
If
What's
I'm
the
him,
difference with torso and leg differential? It's weird.
I'm just saying, if he can find a way to force himself to Minnesota, I think he can turn around his career. You get a great coach who saved Sam Darnold, who turned that around. You have a defense that's pretty strong. You have Justin Jefferson and Addison to throw to constantly. Good weaponry, good head coach, good defense. If you want to save yourself in the NFL, if you want to revamp your career, Minnesota's the option. Your competition is J.J. McCarthy. Everyone hates J.J. They think he sucks. So it's not that hard to beat him out. There's still some talent there. He should do anything he can to be a part of the McVay coaching tree, and that's in Minnesota.
I don't think the Vikings want him. I think Kyler Murray is one of those players that is just somebody you just don't want as your quarterback. It seems like the players on the team don't love Kyler Murray. He's not somebody that people love to play with. His personality puts some people off. With that being said, I could see him going to the Miami Dolphins. I don't know why. Maybe because they just had a shorter quarterback. They just get another short quarterback. To me, Kyler Murray finds himself in like the 20 range of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, a little bit below average. And I think people overvalue Kyler Murray for what they think he can do other than what he is. And right now, to me, he's about the 20th best quarterback in the NFL.
I'm with Mario. He's the only place he would have success would be Minnesota. Every other team on there, he's going to fail.
Yeah.
Minnesota would be his only saving grace. He has no chance anywhere else.
Yeah. I'd echo that. He's screwed beyond belief anywhere else.
Crazy, right? Talk about disappointing careers. Everyone thought this guy would be a stud. I tell you, one of the guy that I always thought ruined Kyler Murray was Aaron Donald. I think completely gave him PTSD.
Maybe. Two free agent receivers out there are Mike Evans and Alec Pierce. Seems like the Chargers are unlikely to sign either one. Mike Evans would be more likely for me. Do you want either one? Do you want the Chargers to pursue either receiver?
I want Mike Evans pretty badly. Been pretty upfront about that. I'm surprised. I do. I'm gonna love.
Would it bother you to see him wearing Keenan's number 13?
Yeah, I think I'll get over it.
Don't even go there. Not gonna happen.
I'll sleep at night.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Not gonna happen. Like he wouldn't wear it, or not gonna happen. They aren't gonna sign him. What are you saying?
They would not give away Keenan Allen's 13.
100% they will. Yes, they will.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan's number.
The Chargers aren't going to give away number 13.
Number one, the NFL does not like when you retire numbers. They actually discourage it. It's not like hell the NBA where everybody gets their number retired, but the NFL discourages it big time. Like the only number I could see that is you don't give 17 away. All right. I mean, obviously LT's number's not going anywhere. 55 is not going anywhere. 19's not going anywhere. But I don't think Keenan's that guy. Is Keenan a Hall of Famer to you guys? Is he getting the Hall of Fame?
No, he's not going to get in the Hall of Fame, but Keenan Allen's one of the greatest Chargers of all time.
He's a Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my! Have you seen some of the guys in the Ring of Honor? You can't name half of them.
Saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen.
You know I'm in the Basketball Hall of Fame, Mario?
Yeah,
What'd you say?
I'm in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame or Basketball Hall of Fame.
I did too. I just made a free throw.
Yeah, you made it too. Everybody's in. It's
Apparently.
goddamn ridiculous. Embarrassing.
Keenan Allen is 24 receptions away from being the 9th all-time in receptions in the NFL history. 24.
Yeah,
he's going to be a top 10 guy all time. You're going to give away his 13 a year after he leaves?
Yeah,
or he can still be on the team next year.
It doesn't matter. Thank God you did not say, when you mentioned receivers available, you did not mention Diggs. I thought you were going to say Diggs. And I was like, dude, I don't want Diggs.
Never sign him.
They would never in a million
Thank
years.
goodness. And I tell you what, man, I was super happy to see the Patriots let him go. He's just a really bad guy, man. These bad dudes, see you later. But yeah, I'm with Mario. If they sign Evans, I'd be 100% fine with Evans. I would. There'd be zero complaints. I've always been a Mike Evans fan. I was a fan in college, how great he was. He's been in the league a long time. That's the only thing with Mike Evans. He's been here a long time. Coming off big time injury too.
Yeah, that's a worry.
Yeah. So Quentin Johnston, his 5th-year option is $16 million. You can make the argument he's not worth $16 million. You could say maybe he is worth $16 million. He was our best receiver combined the last 2 years. He hasn't had 1,000 yards in a season, but he's had 16 touchdowns the last 2 years, 8 touchdowns apiece in 2024, 2025, almost identical stats the last 2 years. Had 711 yards in 2024, 735 yards in 2025. What would you do with Quentin Johnston, Mario?
Learn from the Green Bay Packers. I would look at a little bit what they did, because look, he's not worth the $16 million. He's too inconsistent. The drops happen. Hey, I'm one of the best receivers in the league, and then I'm gone, right? The first 4 weeks this past year is a great example. 22 receptions, 337 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, first 4 weeks. Next 4 weeks, 10 receptions, 123 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Where'd you go? Where's Waldo? Come on, buddy. Like, stay more consistent. And that's been our problem with him. He's 1 week does great one-on-ones. Next thing you know, he can't beat anyone. One day he catch everything. The other day, he doesn't even jump with a freaking football. It's too much give and take. Maybe extend him to like a short extension of just $10 million. Try to maybe find that common ground.
He's not going to do that. Look at the money inside the receivers get. He's not going to do that. His agent's not going to do that.
Awesome. Then buy. Because guess who's at the door? What team's standing at the door going, we need Quentin Johnston more than anything on this planet? Which teams? I'm waiting. Who's going to pay him $16 million or want him?
Someone would pay him that much money. Like a dumb team would do it.
The Raiders would do it. The Raiders. Here's the deal. This is the time where you pick up the phone, guys, and you sit and you offer him off. This is what you do. I mean, Mario, I couldn't agree with you more. Where he disappears, doesn't show up all 17 weeks. When he was good, man, we sat there and we complimented him like crazy on this show. When he was bad, we've ripped him over the years, but he has gotten better. Not to the point where he's going to be worth big time money, but his agent's going to come in asking for money. He's going to come in asking for money. He's in the time of his career. You're going to have to pay him soon. This is where you say, if you guys think that much of him, you seek trades. This is where you can fix some of those draft picks that you gave up in the trades you got to get Deculus and whatever. I don't want to go through the whole thing again. So when he comes to you and look, as much as we complimented him when he did play well, it wasn't consistent enough because he wasn't consistent. So what's the saying, man? When his agent calls and goes, we want to talk extension and we're talking this amount of money and it sounds ridiculous to everybody but them, you go, absolutely, we got a brand new contract for you. We'll meet you on the corner of fucking off and you can sign it right there because it's not happening. And you try and trade him right now.
Yeah, Mario makes a really good point. You look at his game log from last year, he was one of the best receivers in the NFL the first 4 weeks of the year. From weeks 5 to literally week 14, below average receiver, very below average receiver, where he almost did not exist. You sell high. I couldn't agree more. This is a situation where you sell high. If a team is dumb enough, Mario, to give him that money, you get rid of him, right? I just think Quentin Johnston will never be the top receiver on the team. That's for Ladd, and hopefully Trey Harris makes a jump to be the number 2 receiver, possibly number 1 receiver on this team. I just don't think Quentin Johnston has proven he can be a guy you can rely on each and every game in the Charger uniform. Just because he has 8 touchdowns, it doesn't mean he's producing throughout the year. Those 8 touchdowns come in multi-touchdown games. He's not there every game. So I'm with you. You trade him off high. Do you guys have anything else you want to add, or you want to get into the top free agents?
Going to the top free agents. Oh, go ahead,
just
Mario.
one
Sorry,
more thing. Yeah, no, just one more thing, because I'm seeing comments about it. Yes, he is on contract for 2026. In 2027, he has that club option of 16.4 million. So that's what we're talking about here, where you can find an extension now so that number doesn't come and hit you right in the face. That's what we're talking about here. So just want to clarify that.
What were you going to say? What?
Nothing. Just his choice of words. I just shook my head. That's it.
Wait, what choice of words?
Mario's.
Well, yeah, what did he say?
I'm not repeating it. You guys go back and
did he say something pause-worthy?
What?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Okay. He knew. Yeah, 38 minutes in. You go back and you listen to the show.
I will after the show.
38 minutes in. We're at 36.
36 minutes in. I can't say 36 minutes in. That's when you said something where you're going to go, what?
Okay.
All right. We have to listen back. All right. ESPN has released their top free agents. They've updated their list for the people that are still available. To me, I'm a little bit shocked, Mario, on who the number 1 person is. I understand from a production standpoint, he's been phenomenal. But at this point in his career, I don't know if you can make the argument that Trey Hendrickson is a number 1 player available in free agency. They have Tyler Linderbaum, number 2. They have Odafe, number 6. Khalil Mack, number 20. Zion Johnson, number 29, Connor McGovern, number 31, and Dave's best friend, Joey Bosa, number 35. Out of all those players I just named, does anything jump out to you, or are you surprised by any of those names?
A little bit on the Trey Hendrickson, obviously being number 1. So there's a discussion that that was had here in Chicago, and I think it's probably happened in other places, of who would you rather have in Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson? And I don't get how it's this big of a discussion. I think it's Max Crosby 10 times over.
It is.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. I didn't really get it.
Bad year to have an injury. That's the sad part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and to be honest with you, that's why the Raiders held Crosby. Well, 2 reasons they held Crosby out of the last 2 games. One is they didn't want to take a chance of an injury, and 2, you wanted to get the first overall pick in the draft. Crosby was all pissed off about it, playing basketball on social media and everything else. By the way, on the side, just because I keep seeing it over and over again, look, we all like Alec Pierce. We didn't mention Alec Pierce on the show because we have from an inside source saying he's going back to the Colts, so we don't waste time talking about him. We all like him. We're all fans. We're with everyone in here that's writing Alec Pierce on the side. Got it. But as far as Hendrickson, going back to what you're saying, Josh, love the guy, love watching him play, wish him all the best, unless he goes in the AFC West. Too big of a gamble.
I'm curious when I look at these ESPN rankings, Mario, are they ranking these guys on what their future is in the NFL or how good they are right now? Because if you're ranking these guys off of how good they are right now, I don't understand how Zion would be ahead of Connor McGovern. To me, Zion Johnson is a little bit above average guard. He was the best, most consistent player on the Chargers offense line last year, which is not saying much at all considering we have the worst offensive line in like NFL history. But he was the only guy that would show up for each game and would post mediocre scores or sometimes above average scores. To say he's better than Connor McGovern, who's one of the best centers in the NFL, I'm not sure about that. It's probably because Zion's younger. Joey Bosa being number 35 blows my mind, because if you're going off of what they are for the future, I would never pay Joey Bosa. You cannot rely on this guy to be out there. Odafe being number 6 makes sense to me. Tyler Linderbaum being number 2 makes sense to me. Khalil Mack being number 20 does not make sense to me. Khalil Mack, at this point in his career, you cannot expect him to have more than 6 sacks in a season. He's an awesome locker room guy. He's a leader of a team. But field production-wise, I would not say Khalil Mack is a top 20 edge rusher in the NFL at this point.
I think I still probably would put him up there, to be honest with you. Like, I'd still make him put, like,
what, 5.5 sacks the last 2 years?
Get some pressures, though. And he still draws a good amount of attention. And when he's going, he's still phenomenal. But I'm also insanely biased towards him, so I'll state that for the record. There's a guard that's on here that caught my attention. I was talking to Chris Mack, friend of the program. If Pittsburgh's going to bring him back, And he says it's not going to happen. He's going to enter free agency. And that's Isaac, and I'm going to say his last name wrong, but Milo. I definitely butchered that one. He's 32 years old, 97.3 pass rush win rate, which is second among 65 qualifying guards. Veteran, been around the block. He could be a good piece to add at that guard spot. Maybe could be even a little bit cheaper than Zion because he's a little bit older. Obviously, he's probably better overall. But I would just keep that as a name to watch for the Chargers to add if they really want to beef up this O-line and they're really serious about it, and maybe they don't love all the draft options.
Yeah. It's, man, it's not like, man, we're walking into the store and look how great everything looks, right? It's limited. I mean, that's why I don't think it's too tough for Joe Ortiz to be aggressive with the amount of money that you have and the holes that you have to sit there and say, we know what we want. We're in the store, we're buying quick, and we're getting out. And that's where you're sitting here making your offer really fast. And you're sitting there and maybe you overpay. In some people's eyes as fans, I don't think we care about overpaying. We just got to get the right guys. You can't get outbid when you have this much money and your holes aren't exactly skill player positions you're paying for. You're paying for offensive line help. You can fix this offensive line in one offseason, whether it's 2 through free agency and 1 through the draft, whatever direction you want to go on that. But, man, it would change everything for this organization on their opportunity to be competitive to win a Super Bowl by being aggressive. And, again, if you have to overpay, you have to overpay. They aren't in a position to do anything else right now.
Yep. Do you guys want to go to the comments?
We can go. By the way, I just want to mention this is we talk a lot, thanks to Amy O, about Hall of Famer Amy O, about Kenyon Sadiq. Look, right now and everything I'm seeing, he is moving up this board like crazy. He's not going to fall to the Chargers pick. Latest picks I'm looking at is he's a heavy favorite to go number 13 to the Rams. Oh. So as much as thanks Amy for teasing us and fall in love with this player, but it looks like the Chargers aren't going to get a chance to draft him.
God, that'd be a kick at the, you know what?
JLM $5 says, was Ortiz's lack of success in free agency on the offensive line due to the recommendations of Giro? This explains the success of the defense with Minter. Do you believe that Greg Roman had part to do with how bad Joe Ortiz was in free agency is the question.
I mean, I think Roman is a little bit to blame for the lack of success, obviously. I feel like the better question would be like, did the front office set him up for failure? And I don't think they did. I think there was ways that Roman could have called a better game and done better with the personnel that he had. So I think maybe that's probably the better way to kind of approach it, Dave. Roman sucked, and Joe gave him, he still had a QB to work with and a couple good receivers.
Look, this is Jim Harbaugh's team. I mean, Joe Ortiz got that job because of Jim Harbaugh. I mean, he's running the team. I understand he's the coach, and when you look at the chart, he's supposed to be below Joe Ortiz. He's running the team, and I don't know if Jim Harbaugh falls in love with the players, and this is what you get, or if he's a BS artist. Like with J.J. McCarthy, I think he was grateful for winning a national championship, and he talked him up like crazy. And I remember sitting there on the show before the draft going, J.J. McCarthy, what are you talking about? At best, he's a third round draft pick. All of a sudden, he's a top 10 pick, and everyone's talking him up because Jim talked him up. And the Vikings now are like, thanks. We got stuck with this guy who calls himself number 9, and he never shows up. Kawhi Leonard thinks he doesn't show up in enough games, and he's not good when he does show up. So when Jim Harbaugh, don't forget, a year ago at this time, and he was BSing us like crazy on the offensive line. I blame Jim more than anybody on this offensive line. This was Jim falling in love with guys, saying how great they were, and we don't need to do anything. Because if he would have told Joe Ortiz our offensive line stinks, we got to go out and get some help here. And that's assuming both your tackles are healthy. You still were going to stink. Your interior offensive line was terrible, especially when it's important for you to run the ball. And don't think it was just Roman that wanted to run the ball. That's Jim Harbaugh that wants to run the ball too. He's not going to let something like that happen unless he thinks this is the best way to control a football game. If I can control the clock and can control turnovers, we're going to win. That's old school, his dad football. Game has changed a lot, man. And this offensive line stunk last year, and I blame Jim for putting his head in the sand on this offensive line.
The last person I blame in this situation is Greg Roman. I mean, right? Like they decided to bring back Bozeman. You knew what was going to happen there. The offensive line was terrible. They got hurt. They didn't prepare for it. I don't blame Greg Roman. I blame Ortiz and Harbaugh. Jonathan Roncone, Hall of Famer, 199, has praying hands for number 25 and number 27. Thank you for that. I don't know what else to say.
That means a lot to me. Just to explain to the listeners out there, my son Jake was always number 25, and his best friend Roman died a couple days ago. Actually died during our show, and he was number 27. So he also saw my social media post, but appreciate it, man. It's been a really bad week here.
Thanks, Jonathan. Jonathan Roncone, Hall of Famer, 499, says if Vega, Proctor, Sadiq, Bain, and Banks are gone at number 22, do you look to trade with the Jets for the number 33 and number 44 pick?
I don't know if I'd go that far just yet.
So we're expecting Bain out of those players to be gone, right? And Sadiq's probably going to be gone too. Banks, Proctor, Vega could likely be there at 22. Like one of them is likely to be there. I'd be shocked, Mario, if all of those guys are gone at 22.
And we always get chaos on draft day. Like some team presses the red button and freaks out. So odds are one of these guys is going to fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Odds are you're right.
Yeah. I don't think you I mean, there's no chance Ruben Bain falls at 22, right? He's probably going to go in the top 10. Sadiq's going to go in the top 15 likely. If he falls, that'd be great. Proctor should be there. Vega could be there, and Banks, right? You can't pass up on any of those three guys. You got to draft one of them. I would take one of them, and I wouldn't trade down. Yeah. That's what I think. Or Amy, Hall of Famer, 499, says Ortiz has almost the most money in the NFL. This is ridiculous. I will 100% judge once the free agency and the draft is done. Not end of C's. Don't F us. Get the bigs.
I'm with Amy. I agree 100%. That was perfect.
I know there's a conversation on the side, Mario, that was saying you can't judge free agency and the draft until you see what you have during the season. I think it's a great indication of what your team has after free agency and the draft. You have a pretty good idea of what the team's going to be, I feel like.
I mean, there's always questions, but you definitely do. I know every writer's like least favorite thing is doing the grades like after the draft, because it's like Seattle, their legendary draft had like a D+, and obviously like you look really stupid after that. But yeah, you do get a feel going into the season what your team's going to be, what your team's going to look like. It's sometimes you look stupid when you hit the gridiron, and sometimes you look smart when you hit the gridiron. So I get what she's saying, but same time you always have a feeling.
A Macias, $5 says, what would you rather the Chargers do? Draft at 22 or focus on getting more higher draft capital by trading away their first round pick?
I would pick at 22. Right now, I would.
I would too. And it depends, right, on who's available. That's going to be the main question.
Yeah. I mean, what do they say? You look at a draft and you do that big line of cutting off of saying, okay, this is where the talent in this draft starts to fall off. Where guys who are, in the first round picks could easily be second round picks or third round picks. And then you figure it out that way. Again, this is a franchise that's chasing that Super Bowl. Now, we don't know exactly if they're chasing the extent the fans are, or we are on the show. We want to see, the one. I mean, guys are saying they're going to cut their left nut off if we can get one. I don't know if Joe Ortiz is willing to cut his nuts off. I mean, that's what I want. I want a GM to say, I'm willing to cut my left nut off. Look at Vrabel threatened to cut his piece off the entire time to win a Super Bowl. Guess what? He was in the Super Bowl. That's what kind of worked out. Talk about putting it all on the line. That's what Vrabel did. I'd like to hear Joe Ortiz make that comment. I'm willing to cut my left nut off to get that Super Bowl trophy. Or how about the other way? I will cut my left nut off if I don't get the Super Bowl trophy.
I'll add to this as well. I'm also hoping, and I bet they are, but I'm listening to every call that wants to trade.
Of course, you have to.
Yeah. Everybody but the Raiders
are in zero position to be like, what? You calling me? Hang up. Don't do that.
Yeah. Right. Am I right? Everybody but the Raiders should be doing that exact thing. I mean, this draft, dude, we're going to do our predictions for the draft at some point. This is the hardest one I've ever had to do. I don't know who's going number 2. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, 2 through 10 is crazy.
if you were an owner of an NFL team and you found out that your GM was not taking calls, I would lose my shit.
Yeah. I'd be furious.
You walk into his office and he ripped the phone line out. What the F? It's not even connected? What's going on here?
Blaze Gaspari, $49.99. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Blaze.
Says, yeah, damn. First time catching a live in a minute. Baby just turned 1 and just found out the other day there's another one on the way.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
Congratulations.
No pull out
messing around.
Blaze.
Yeah,
No kidding.
pull out Blaze. Says, appreciate y'all for being a great stress relief for me a few times a week. Both the F up Hall of Famer Blaze.
Dude, I'm glad it says Hall of Famer. I was looking at it going, why doesn't it say Hall of Famer at the top? Then I see it at the bottom there. Man.
Same. I thought we forgot. I was like, oh, shoot. I swear I put Blaze in there.
He did. We put him in there. I know. I'm about to say.
Congratulations, Blaze. Got swimmers.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oscar Hilliard, $5 says, I don't care what the so-called NFL experts think. We need to sign OA and fix this offensive line, period. What's OA? What am I missing?
Adafe, I'm guessing. I think it's just Adafe away. I think you just messed it up.
OA. You're saying like OA. Okay, I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah. You're gonna end up with Zion, Adafe, or both, I think, for sure. Like, I think Zion is almost a sure thing. There's not much out there. Like, Zion is the free agent at the most perfect time he could have ever imagined. And I think the Chargers are going to pay up.
He is a free agent at the perfect time. You're 100% right.
You couldn't have picked a better year to be a free agent.
When he walks in the locker room, has to be insane once he resigns.
He beat the Packers.
He's going to get crazy money, though. Like, he's going to get money. Everyone's going to like, what the hell? You know?
Jonathan Roncone, Hall of Famer, $4.99 says, sign Double O, Zion, McGovern, and Pierce, then draft like a motherfucker. Bolt the F up.
Can you imagine that's all Harbaugh says and he walks out, opens the door? That's what I want. Just leaves.
If you sign Double O, Zion, McGovern, Pierce, that's going to take up almost all your money. I don't know. I would love the first 3. Pierce, I just never think that's going to happen, Mario.
I don't think Pierce is going to happen either. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I really thought Buffalo was a serious threat to get him, and maybe they still will try to. But with them getting DJ Moore today, I'm kind of interested to see what his market really is going to be. Obviously, there's 30 other teams in the NFL, but just saying.
Pappy, $2 says, I think I need another drink. Must be 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is. It's 5
Cheers,
o'clock
Pappy.
somewhere.
Cheers.
I think it's 5 o'clock in Italy.
By the way, I'm not a big drinker, but I never understood the thing you got to wait till after 12. If you want to drink, just go get your goddamn drink. Who cares?
Well,
Let's do it.
What does Drake say? You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning?
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, one of my best friends, literally next to his alarm clock, has an open bottle of Wild Turkey. Before he even opened his eyes, he takes a shot. And then he gets up, goes to the bathroom, takes a shower.
I guess, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, whatever.
AK Hall of Famer, $4.99. Buddy, AK, you're going to have to clarify this comment. I literally can't read it. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Wow.
Yeah, AK, you got to clarify that for me. I don't know what you're saying. Lane Moan, $1.99 says, praying to the Lord, I can get me a QJ soon. Aren't we all?
Yeah, everybody does. if you have not been listening to the show for a long time, you're completely lost on these QJs, but you missed out. I'm sorry.
Do you have a rant for us?
Yeah, what's funny is I was thinking about Josh here is going to a wedding in Ireland, okay, and these destination weddings.
Irish.
top of the morning to you. These destination weddings are ridiculous. The only one who's excited about a destination wedding are the people who are actually getting married. Anyone who gets an invitation to a destination wedding is going, F me. How am I going to get out of this? That's what they're thinking immediately. No one's excited about a destination wedding. And it could be a 5-hour drive. It could be you live in Southern California and you're getting married in Phoenix. And you're like, dude, how am I going to get to Phoenix? I don't want to go to Phoenix. People that some get married in Santa Barbara that live in San Diego, okay, got to deal with fighting traffic going through LA to get to Santa Barbara. Destination weddings stink, especially when they're in another country. Okay. So to sit there and either test your friendship with somebody by saying, I need you to come to my wedding, but it's going to cost you $2,000 is crazy to me. I don't understand it. So a destination wedding should be a wedding is where you guys elope. That's it. We're eloping to get married in Ireland or wherever. No offense to, I know Josh is getting married to a good guy. I don't even know if he's a good guy. His wife's a saint from what I saw at Josh's wedding. Holy cow. But at the same time, it's ridiculous. A guy that I've known for 30 years, man. First thing he said, I'm getting married, destination wedding. And I'm like, where? A place where there's no airport. And you got to sit there and drive your ass off for 8 hours. And I'm like, what? I don't want to do that. And thank God he backed out of that. And in my head, I'm like, that was awesome. I had another buddy of mine who was getting married day before the wedding. Guess what? It broke off and they didn't get married. And he's, in tears to me on the phone. And in my head, I'm like, thank God. And now I don't have to deal with the traffic and everything else of getting there. I know that sounds horrible to say. Yeah, I'm a jerk. I went selfish right there. But in my mind, I'm like, whew, got my weekend back. Don't have to deal with that. What was that number again to cancel that hotel reservation? Fantastic. And that's where I'm at on that. But these destination weddings got to stop. Don't think you're doing everybody a favor by having a destination wedding. They're all talking shit about you as soon as they get that invitation. Guarantee it.
This was a big topic of discussion, by the way, Dave. Now you say this.
Okay.
Yeah, screw it. I'll say it. Joey was gonna do a destination wedding, and my mom, I mean, she got on her broom and she freaking flew around that room. She made sure that crap got shut down. Yeah, she was not for it.
Good for her.
I'm a fan of your mom because she's the only one that probably could actually say it and your brother would listen. If anyone else said it, he would say screw off. But your mom's saying it?
She also will give your opinion no matter what. So I think that doesn't help. Yeah. Wait, so Josh, are you in the wedding?
No, and I went back and forth if I should even go because I'm not in the wedding. But he went to my wedding in San Diego and he lives in Atlanta, so I was like, I should make the trip.
Okay.
Do you remember the guy? Do you know the guy?
Yeah, I know exactly the guy.
Yeah, Mario and I think have the exact same feeling on this guy.
We do. Let's just say this: it wasn't ended up in my head how they got together. I was sitting there just going, "Wait a minute, hold on."
Cameron Dicker, kicked his coverage
to a freaking T.
Well, not only that, dude, they were involved in like a crazy bike accident during that weekend. She was all cut up to hell. He was cut up, but not as bad as her. And she felt bad for him, wanted to make sure he was okay. He was the one driving. He was the reason they were in the bike accident.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you're a dick. Like this chick on a scale of 1 to 10's a 10. And no offense to him, he's not. And you're like, dude, she's cut up. Like explain to her mom and dad why her body now looks that way because you can't drive a bike. And then she's sitting there. Dude, he married out of his league and she's going to be great the rest of his life. He's going to F it up. I know it.
I had a great convo with him at your wedding too, Josh. It was at the welcoming party.
Okay.
And we were and I asked him one question about his job, and I did not realize I was getting locked in for 40 minutes. And then I stupidly asked a follow-up, and as soon as I asked, it was one of those, I was like, I just signed a contract to be back in this conversation for a good 45.
Yeah.
It's like being in a timeshare meeting. Yeah.
Great guy, though. Great guy.
He's a great guy. He's funny. He's a good time.
Yeah.
There's an NFL quarterback going to be at that wedding, too. How about
Mac Jones is in the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, very fun. Get him on the show.
I'm actually going to try to get him on the podcast.
Are you missing shows then while you're in Ireland? You missing shows?
Depends on when. Oh, Tuesday I can't go for sure. Monday I can go in the morning. We'll figure it out. Jonathan Roncone, Hall of Famer, 199 says AK had Pappy Strinks. Laugh out loud.
Dude, show you how bad my eyes are. Like Josh was trying to read it. I'm trying to focus. All I saw was thanks Dave for Lizzo. And I'm like, what? And it wasn't Lizzo. I was like, I don't know anything about Lizzo. But it wasn't. It was like there was an LIZ in there, but it wasn't talking about Lizzo. I was all confused on what he was writing.
Okay, he clarified. Here we go. Appreciate it, AK Hall of Famer 499 says Ortiz. Okay, AK, take the E out of Ortiz next time, by the way. I know you put the E in there.
I think you put the H in.
A lot of people say Ortiz like he's Mexican. He's not Mexican. Says Ortiz, stop being a sissy, step up and fix this line and protect my quarterback. Or like Uncle Dave said, you have to go. I am done.
Heyo.
Let me tell you, I tell you about AK. This is one message, AK. You have every right to write in all caps. Okay. 2, no one draws the line in the sand more than AK. He's done a lot. You know? I know he does. I love AK, man. I'm with you on everything you just wrote right there. I love what you wrote. I'm going to be extremely frustrated like you, AK, if Ortiz doesn't do something big.
100%. All right. I'm good on my end.
I'm good.
All right. So we're back. Look, we're back on Sunday evening, right? Another unfiltered show. I'm digging these unfiltered shows. So
I think they're our best shows, by the way, for sure.
The most fun I have for sure is doing these unfiltered shows. So here's the deal. These shows do not work without the comments. All right. This is one of those where you guys control the show. You guys say any topic and we just kind of go off it. But again, it does not work. So without you. So we're back Sunday. We're going 6 o'clock Pacific time. You got that, Mario? Yep. It's 8 o'clock your time.
Yep.
And I'm so excited to see if Mario comes to the West Coast. And when I say a time, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like, they'll be awesome. Like, when I say the time, this is the actual time. You don't have to do any math. Be fantastic.
Dude, I was so excited when I was back in Central Time, and I was like, at least me and Josh are on the same page.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. You know
Me too. Yeah, I was freaking out too when you were on East Coast time. All right. We're back 6 o'clock Pacific time Sunday night. Please, we need your help. So we need you guys to participate on that. Please like, subscribe to the show. If there's a comment we didn't get to that you need an answer on or any question at all, go ahead and leave them in the YouTube chat. And Josh and I will get to those as well. But again, thanks everyone for joining us in the morning. No, it's not always easy, but you guys are great. So again, for Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you Sunday, 6 o'clock Pacific time.
Hey, yeah. Hey, it's the boat crew, and we always winning. Hey, go against us, I don't recommend it. Hey, it's the boat crew, best up in the business. It's the boat crew, repping for the city. Macking on and off the field like Khalil. They hate on us cause we keep it too real. I'm talking smack like Phil Rivers in the field. Oh, you mad again cause we kept it real? Why you mad? Hey, I'm talking smack, I feel like Uncle Dave. Hey, I bring the pain, I feel like Derwin James. I could run and gun, I feel like Herbo down the lane. I feel like LT the way I'm stiff arming these lanes. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah. Ay, we just wanna win, we just wanna win, ay. Putting on for the city, putting on for the city. We just wanna win, we just wanna win, yeah.